Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala ashraf al-anbiya wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. So I wanted to share some reflections about speaking to Allah and nurturing this ibadah of dua, this avenue of finding Allah through dua. The month of Ramadan is only mentioned once in the Quran, and it's no coincidence that in that passage on Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about dua. And very interestingly, the verse that mentions dua and Allah's guarantee of responding to a person's dua, He first says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. So He first talks about His closeness to the servant before He mentions the guarantee of His answer. And one lesson that we can take from that is that one of the biggest barriers to truly and meaningfully engaging with dua is if we have limiting beliefs about Allah and what He can do for us and our relationship with Him. So Allah sets the tone and He sets the perspective and He guarantees His closeness, and then He talks about the guarantee of the answer. So in that is a recognition that in order for us to meaningfully connect with dua, we must first release those barriers. We must first let those barriers just completely break and understand first and foremost, what are they? What is our reservation with making dua? Do we believe that our du'as are too big or too great, or things that are never going to happen? Are we confused at the how, right? A recognition of who Allah is, followed by His closeness, puts us in a position where there is no limit to our du'as. So as soon as our limiting beliefs are dealt with when it comes to our du'a, now the question arises, how do I make du'a? So there's two ways that a person can make du'a in an effective way. The first of them is really digging deep and making a personal du'a that's unscripted, that's not even pre-planned. You raise your hand at a moment where you feel that vulnerability, for example, just before breaking one's fast, where you feel, maybe emotionally drained, and you're in a position where you need an outlet. Dua at that moment is unmatched. So the first way is making it in an unscripted and a very personal, capitalizing on peak moments of emotion to connect with Allah in a very kind of meaningful way. The second way is by reading, understanding, and meaningfully connecting with the prophetic du'as. The prophetic du'as have a spiritual impact when a person understands what's being said. If it becomes robotic and it becomes kind of like just something that you repeat and regurgitate without meaningfully connecting with, then du'a ceases to be a spiritual avenue to connect with Allah. And so whether it's prophetic du'as or even Quranic du'as, for a person to really just spend time with it and understand what is being asked so that they can then be able to speak to Allah in a meaningful way. And so I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to use Ramadan to explore this avenue to Allah of dua and allow all of our du'as to be answered, and may He accept from all of us. Allahumma ameen.